How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is AJBYGO, bringing you a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel straight from my locals on Saturday. We have Crusadia Danger Thunder versus Cyber Dragons. It seems that the Crusadia Danger Thunder will start first, activating Sekka's Light, and responded to by Ash Blossom. That will probably hurt a lot for that. He doesn't get the two draws, so... yeah, he still has the Nightmare Corruptor Ibly, so that'll leave him one play. So, yeah, he will give him the Nightmare Corruptor Ibly to go into Mermaid. That'll stop plays like Nibiru from being dropped on him if he has his full combo. It actually seems that the Cyber Dragon player, he does have a Gamma in hand, which means he won't be able to use it. So he summons out Crusadia Arborea, and he's now going to go into Lanfaringus, his Link 2, and then he summons Crusadia Draco to the zone it points to. So I think with that Sekka's play, he seems to almost be done already. He doesn't really have a whole lot else to do. So he grabs back Arborea with the Draco. He's looking in his extra deck to see if he wants to go into LP, but he might not have a follow-up play. He uses the second effect of Sekka's Light to shuffle one monster back. He reveals another Crusadia Draco, which kinda sucks for him. So he shuffles. It seems like the Cyber Dragon player might be out of responses at this point. So let's see what the draw gets him. He draws, and I don't think it seems to help him much. Yeah, he might be done here. Looking back in his extra deck just to make sure that he doesn't want to go into the LP, but it could be a lost cause at this point if he does. Yeah, he passes turn. Alright, Cyber Dragon starts for turn. Ooh, he draws straight into Cyber Dragon Core, which will allow him to search his deck. And because he didn't get into the Colossus, he can easily do that. He looks back in his hand to see what he's got. He's now going to... He's thinking very, very hard on what he wants to grab with his cards. He grabs Cyber Repair Plant. And, you know, that card is pretty good for Cyber Dragons. So let's see what combo he plans on doing. He links the Ibly and the Core. He links the Ibly and the Core into Cyframe Lord Lambda. Another generic link too. He uses Cyber Repair Plant because now with the Core Engrave. Alright, he searches. He's going to add Galaxy Soldier. He adds a Galaxy Soldier to his hand. So that Lambda will actually allow the Gamma to go off even with monsters on the board, so that'll be an interesting play. He uses Galaxy Soldier by pitching one light monster, and now he searches out a Cyber Dragon. And he also searches the other Galaxy Soldier for the summon. So what he must have pitched must have been a hers. So he got that, a Cyber Dragon and another Galaxy Soldier, which means he will get into the Cyber Dragon in Infinity. Yeah, he discarded the Cyber Dragon, goes into Nova. And he's going to use Nova's effect to revive the hers. And he has Infinity. He's going to use Infinity's effect to grab an attack position monster. He takes his Lanfaringus, leaving the Thunder Dragon player not in a very good position here, as he now takes the hers and goes into Link Karibo. He battles Infinity into Draco, and then directly with the Link Karibo and the Lambda. Just doing some life point calculations here. So make sure when you're in a tournament, guys, you're not actually allowed to use your phone, but for more casual play, just at a local, after the locals had finished up, so you can use your phone in those cases. So he draws into the Thunder Dragon Dark, he discards it to add. He doesn't use the Infinity Negate because he knows one card, he knows he has the Crusadia Arborea, but he doesn't know what else he's got in his hand, so maybe he's holding on to it. So, yep, he grabs the second copy of Dark. So actually at this locals, the Cyber Dragon player placed second, while the Crusadia Danger Thunder placed first. The Cyber Dragon guy didn't place second. He tied for third with myself and one other guy. And yeah, we were 3-1. Ooh, he has a Danger Jackalope. He's going to activate it. They're going to discard a random card. He hits the Dark, which means he will summon out the Jackalope and draw one card. And he seems to be looking back in his extra deck just to see what plan he has. Yeah, he just scoops it up. He doesn't have a plan, so that will move us to game number 2. Alright, going into round number 2 here, game 2, we have the Danger Thunder guy opting to go first. Cyber Dragon going to be on the draw. And it doesn't actually look like the Cyber Dragon player drew any interruptions to this. So we start out with him setting one card, probably to avoid... oh no, he goes straight into Reclusia, allowing him to go into the nice Prismatic Maximus that came out. Not Maximus, Magius, excuse me. He specials Defrag by pitching Orochi, which that's an interesting play. We have Orochi being put in to the Danger Thunder deck, mostly because it is another card that can easily swarm the board, and once they're done with their combo, they can also pop a card. He adds Draco off of Magius. He now goes into the Link 2. He goes into Lanferinkus again. He special summon Draco to a zone he points to. This is very reminiscent of what happened last time. So he grabs back Reclusia and then special summons it to the Lanferinkus zone. He uses Draco to go into Guard Dragon Elpie. He uses the Reclusia, the Lanferinkus, to go into Triple Burst Dragon. Elpie's effect, he is now going to summon from his deck one dragon monster. Elpie is an absolutely crazy effect. He looks at the Amorphage Goliath, but he decides on the Omnidragon Brotar. Omnidragon Brotar is another just absolutely crazy utility that the Guard Dragons have started utilizing. That is just a crazy card. He can search pretty much anything, but he tributes the 3 for Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment. If you have not seen this card in action yet, it is crazy for Guard Dragons. So he can fuse with 3 dragons on his field by banishing them, I believe, and he can now banish 1 card from his deck, 1 card from the top of his opponent's deck, and 1 card of his choice from the opponent's extra deck, as you can see him explaining right here. So he banishes a regular Cyber Dragon, and he is going into his deck. He banishes the Thunder Dragon Dark. So this card is just a lot of pluses in card advantage for this deck. He grabs out the Hawk, and now he's going to choose a singular target from his opponent's extra deck. So, yep, he has to offer him his extra deck, and Now, if this were round 1, he would have got the knowledge of what he's playing, but as someone he already knows what's playing, he goes ahead and gets rid of the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Actually, we see the Super Poly in the Cyber Dragon's hand, and that could have been his only Super Poly target. So that could be pretty bad if he has a extender for these combos. So, with Trishula already still on the board, he banishes Elpie to summon out Wyverbustern, and he links into Hieratic Seals. That's 2 dragons. And he doesn't search. He doesn't search with, he hasn't searched with Wyverbustern's effect. He does pitch the Hawk, though, to revive the Dragon Dark. So then he tributes off the Dragon Dark for Colossus. So we have Hieratic Seals and Colossus left on the board. He passes turn. On the draw, he draws into a Cyber Repair Plant. He special summons a regular Cyber Dragon. He uses the fusion, so he gets rid of the Hieratic Seals without having his effect activated. And he goes into Mega Fleet. So he has 2400 attack for just using 2 materials. He now normal summons the Natchter, and he revives the Cyber Dragon in his graveyard. He's now going to link those away for a Cyber Dragon Seeger. Also a Prismatic. A lot of these Prismatic cards that came out in the Megatins are just beautiful looking. They really need to make more of those. He goes into the battle phase, and he swings Seeger into Colossus, and he banishes the Dark to save him, and he passes turn. That's it for the turn. He searches out a duo because he banished the Dark. And now oh, he actually didn't end his turn. He just he searched. He then link summoned the Natchter away into Natchter. I was confused on what was happening there. I thought he passed his turn, but apparently he didn't. So he drew. He now has he has a duo and a random card still in his hand. And he has an Eradicator Virus set, so he could use that at some point, but I don't know how effective it would be to get rid of his Colossus. He's pointing out that he forgot to search with his Wyverbustern, which is pretty unfortunate. So he's looking what's in his graveyard. He does have the Orochi in his graveyard that he could have summoned during his opponent's end phase to try and pop the Seeger. He's going to banish Light in the Dark to summon out Dragon Duo. You know, some people have forgotten about Dragon Duo's effect because he wasn't played in a lot of Crusadia Danger Thunders, but he is coming back in with, and so is Pure Thunder. So we're going to see how this meta shapes up to be with the Megatins coming out, and next month we have Dual Devastator also coming out. That'll bring a lot of people who are budget into, for pretty cheap, going back in. Okay, he's banishing the top 8 cards in of his deck, and he's counting. He realizes he only banished 7, so he's going to have to banish 1 more card. And so with Dual Devastator coming out, a lot of budget players will actually be able to play more competitively than usual, with all the Ghost Girls being reprinted, as well as like Super Poly and Spell Canceller and certain cards that just have been used and need a reprint because they're a little expensive. So, I mean, even Ash Blossom with quite a few reprints is still a few dollars a piece, so some people just don't want to do that. So with Orochi now on the board, he has Dragon Duo, Colossus, and Orochi. He attacks into Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh uses his effect, and he is looking at his board. He passes turn. So you can only activate one of Orochi's effects per turn. He did not choose to blow up the Seeger. He normal summons Cyber Dragon Core and could just go straight for Cyberload Fusion. Okay, Cyberload Fusion resolves. He shuffles in Core and one of his banished Cyber Dragons. So, with Seeger, and he's probably going to summon Rampage Dragon, and that is going to be a lot of damage, if not actually kill him. So he's going to actually use Rampage effect to pop some back row. He pops the Eradicator, so he's now going to activate his effect to send 2 to the grave to gain attack. He sends a Natchter and a Hers. The Hers will allow him to search. This, depending on what else he has, this could be game, but we're gonna have to see where it is. So he adds the Natchter back to his hand. He's asking about Orochi. He's wondering if Orochi's effect to pop is a quick effect. It is not. He can only the summoning condition is a quick effect. It is not. So Seeger will make Rampage gain 2100, putting him at 42, and he also has 3 attacks. So he is going to be either dead or... So let's see, he swings into the Dragon Duo. So he's at 4,250 life. He hits the Duo, he'll take another 14, and he looks in his grave looking for, I'm guessing, Colossus targets to see what else he can banish. So he actually doesn't attack. It looks like he's not going to attack into the Colossus. He passes turn. So during the end phase, he's going to use Orochi to banish 8 from the top of his deck and summon out himself. Alright, so he's going to draw for turn with 2 monsters still left on board. He has the Orochi and the Colossus. The Colossus really hurting. I probably said he's going to search a few times, but he actually can't. That's why he keeps adding back from grave. So he uses Gizmek's effect, banishes 3 from his extra deck, and he is going to pop one of the monsters on his board. He pops the Seeger, so he can't make a card gain 2100 attack. He pitches the Roar, and he adds 1 back from his grave. He adds the Dragon Duo, which means he'll banish a Light and a Dark to summon him out. He banishes Lanfarinkus and Defrag Dragon to summon out Duo again. So this is actually turned. That almost was an OTK last turn. So with 2850 remaining, he's going to take a hefty chunk of damage right now. So putting him at 1800 life points left, he sets 1 and passes. Oh, but he drew into Chaos Dragon Lavenir, which is a really crazy card, considering he's most likely going to take apart this Crusadia Danger Thunder Dragon's board. So right now he's going to banish. Yep, he's banishing 3 lights. He banishes 3 lights for a Chaos Dragon Lavenir, and he's going to destroy 2 cards. Now, he won't get to attack this turn. That is the downside of Lavenir once you use one of his effects. So he's deciding on what 2 cards he wants to pop, and he's going to go ahead and destroy the Duo. And he targets Colossus to try and burn through all of his stuff. He uses the Roar, and Roar will now activate his banishment effect. That's one of the things that makes Thunder Dragon so strong, is Colossus can protect himself and then trigger the effects of all this stuff. I actually don't think he has a target left in his deck. He might be out of targets for for Roar's effect. So he revives Seeger, and he revives Seeger with Natchter. And Natchter will... Oh, Link Rebo will use his effect to tribute one from the grave and reborn himself. So Seeger is going to make himself gain 4100. He's going to attack into the Colossus. But you don't take battle damage, so he burns through the duo. So he's trying to think, but you can't take battle damage with Seeger, and Levineer can't attack. So no damage actually dealt this turn. He draws the top deck. He draws the top of his deck. He's thinking. He's thinking about what he wants to do here because he's staring down the Seeger, a Levineer, and a Link Haribo. So he's gonna have to find a way to at least out 2 of these if he wants to win the game. So he's obviously still has Orochi's effect. So see, Orochi is one of those cards that people, it took a minute for people to figure out how to play him properly. I shouldn't say properly, but in its best way, and he's just a card that he can keep recurring himself. So yeah, he's burning through a lot, but all of his pops and his special summons are really helping him out in this duel. He banishes 3. He's deciding if he wants to pop the Seeger or the Levineer. He only has 2 cards left in his extra deck, so this will be his last pop too. So he has to find a way to out all of these. So he pops the Levineer. He's going to decide on the Levineer here. So that will leave him with Seeger and Link Haribo. And he is going to use the Colossus to attack into the Link Haribo. And he passes his turn. Cyber Dragon player just goes straight into battle phase, targets himself, gonna burn through the Thunder Dragon Hawk, which I believe is his last line of protection. Moves into the main phase 2. And even though it looks like he drew a Galaxy Soldier, he can't really do anything with it. He has no monsters left in hand. So he's now going to just pass the turn. So he's just wondering, he's just trying to think if he has any outs left to the Seeger, because Seeger can just keep gaining himself attack. So this could be game if he doesn't have an out. Oh, but he drew Crusadia Reclusia. He's going to use Reclusia's effect, pop himself, pop the Seeger, and that should be game. Game 2 going to the Thunder Dragon player. Yeah, so he's showing that he drew Super Poly, but he got rid of his 1 Super Poly target. And he also couldn't search with under Colossus, so a lot of his cards were just dead cards. So that will move us into game number 3. Alright, we're going into game 3. It is 1-1. The Cyber Dragon player winning game 1, the Danger Thunder winning game 2. The Cyber Dragon player is opting to go first. Oh, and we see some highly devastating cards in his hand for these 3. Setting 3 and passing. Alright, so he sets 3 and passes. Danger Thunder on the draw. Let's see, he opens up by setting 1. Then he's going to normal summon the Draco. He's going to link into his Magius. So on the Magius summon, he flips up Rivalry of Warlords. So that'll lock him into only controlling spellcasters, which I'm not sure how long he can survive under this rivalry. So he just goes right into the battle phase, pokes him for 100 damage. So that seems to be the only thing he can do for the turn. Yeah, he passes turn, he draws, he drew an Ash Blossom. So actually he doesn't have a response, he just passes turn right back to the Danger Thunder player. He probably feels pretty confident. He just goes straight back into the battle phase. Magius is gonna poke for another 100 damage. So he has to draw into this rivalry or else he's going to eventually get somewhere. He draws into the Cyber Emergency and he has no response. So he's now going to search Cyber Dragon. He searches the core. So once core is summoned, he'll get a second search. So this is what he should have been afraid of. He can play under rivalry fine. He has all machines. So he summons out the core. He's going to use core's on summon search to search out Cyberload Fusion. He might be trying to just go for the quick OTK here. Not an OTK, but he might be setting up to try and just finish this as quick as possible. So he fusion summons with the Magius and the core into Mega Fleet, putting him at 2400. He uses Cyber Repair Plant, and because core is in the grave, he is now going to search. He searches the hers. Yeah, so he looks at his 2 set cards. He just goes ahead and attacks for 2400. He responses with Orochi. See, that's what makes him so good. He's summonable from the hand or grave just by banishing 8 cards. So in some of these thicker decks, he summons out Orochi, which actually has 2450, 50 more attack points than his Mega Fleet has. So he just goes ahead and passes the turn. And with that, he probably only has the one machine, the Gizmech, so goes ahead and just attacks over Mega Fleet, so he'll take 50 damage. Low life point costs here. We have only 250 damage being dealt with, you know, about 10 minutes remaining on the time. So, yeah, he passes back. He uses Core's effect to banish himself if he has no monsters on the board. So he's going to choose to summon out. He's going to choose to summon out. He's looking through his deck, trying to see what's good. He summons out the regular Cyber Dragon. Now he's going to summon out the hers. He links the 2 away into Seeger. And with Cyberload Fusion, that could be enough for game, but he gets Cyber Dragon because of hers going to the grave. Oh, but he actually doesn't have enough right now to go into Rampage Dragon. He would need one more banished or one more on the field, which he doesn't have enough to. He could use the Seeger, but it wouldn't be enough for the OTK. So he's not going to bother going into it. He uses Seeger to gain 2100 more in attacks into Orochi. And during the end phase, Orochi will revive himself, banishing another 8 cards from the top of his deck. Alright, so on the draw, Danger Thunder, still under rivalry, has to find a way out of this. He uses effect to banish 3 from the extra deck to pop the Seeger. Alright, so with that, he's now going to pop the Seeger. This is his best chance to just keep doing damage. Hope he doesn't get to pop off. So he, just goes straight into the battle phase, attacks for another 2450. So even though he's under rivalry, we still have 8,000 on the side of the Crusadia Danger Thunder and 5,300 over Cyber Dragon. He draws another Ash Blossom, a second Ash. So he's just thinking about what he wants to do. He's looking through his grave, making sure there's no effects he needs to activate. So, oh no, he actually banished 3. He banished 3 lights to summon out Leveneer. He's gonna pop 2 cards. So he pops the 2, but he can't do battle damage. He's probably just doing that to clear that back row, just to make sure it's not anything super deadly. But he won't be able to do damage this turn, still leaving the Crusadia Danger Thunder with 8,000 life points left. And he's also, I think, just trying to burn through his deck, trying to make sure he wants to revive Orochi. Because if the guy doesn't have an out like Reclusia for the rivalry, he isn't going to do much. So he just summons out the Orochi again by banishing 8 more. And that still locks him back in. He's going to draw for turn, and then he's going to banish 3 from the extra deck to pop the Leveneer. So that'll give him another 2450 straight in, putting the Cyber Dragon player at 2850. So even under Rivalry, he just keeps reviving that Orochi, proving once again that it is a great utility card. That it's just very useful, has so many uses for it. So he's thinking about, it's actually the end of his turn, and he has to discard a card. Because he hasn't been able to play much. He discards Chupacabra. And then that is the end of that turn. He drew a Solemn Judgment, and he sets it in his back row. And he just goes ahead and normal summon, special summons out the Cyber Dragon, because he has no monsters on his side of the field, and Cyberload Fusion. That could be game right there, as he shuffles in the 3 banished to summon out. He would have the chance to pop 3 back row, but the Danger Thunder does not have any back row. Summons out the Rampage Dragon. He's going to activate the effect to send 2, giving him 2 more attacks, which isn't going to be enough because he does not have the Seeger on the board for the OTK, but he's still going to do a hefty amount of damage. So he uses Her's effect that he sent to target Natchter. Natchter will target Seeger, which will actually allow him to OTK, which I believe that will wrap up the duel here. He could not win under that rivalry. He did do quite a bit of damage, though. So he targets the Rampage Dragon to get 4,200 with 3 attacks. He attacks over the Orochi and attacks directly. He actually hasn't attacked directly. They're doing damage calc for the first attack. So they're just doing the math right now. He takes 1750 from that first attack. He's going to use Orochi's effect to revive himself again to take less damage. He looks at his deck and he actually only has 8 cards left. So that'll actually be the end of the duel no matter what. He's not going to do enough damage to kill him, but he just kills him. That will be the end. The Cyber Dragon player has won 2-1. Thanks for watching the video. Drop a like if you did like it. I'm still working on my commentary skills because I'm new to this. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.